Take 7. I have tried this intro so many times. I'm just going for it now. Right, okay. I am going to get to talking about football. Let's go. My friends over at King Apparel, who are West Ham fans, Tim and Ollie, go home and away, they come to the boats. They're raising some money for the NHS. They have got together with some of the UK's finest musicians to create a tape for... Not a tape! It's not a tape! No one's used tapes for 30 years. It's not a tape. It's definitely not a... Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play the music. I'll try and speak along to the music and not muck it up. The fine people over at King Apparel have got together with some of the UK's finest wave musicians. And when I say wave, that's not like Jonathan Ross trying to say rave. It's actually a music. They have created a download that's free for you. At the point of download, if you could leave a donation, it will all go to NHS and key frontline health workers. There we go. Hopefully that's not too bad at all. The link is in the description below. You can go along to King's Twitter page, which is @KingApparel. That's it. Or their website is in the link below. Go and get your free download. Go and leave a couple of quid or whatever you want to do to the NHS. They're still working hard. And that's it. I really mucked that up, didn't I? Tim, Ollie, sorry. There's a lot smoother people than me at doing this sort of stuff. Anyway. Right. On to football. I think. Well, sort of football. Anyway. I was sort of hoping that that football might change a little bit. That football might, how can we say it? Well, you know, like maybe you and I have. We appreciate going out for a meal now that we've not got it. Okay, we appreciate going out for a trip, a weekend away, whatever the case may be. We've taken a reality check, even just food. You can't get all the food you want at the moment. Just the ability to go to a shop when you want, buy some food, buy the food that you want, bring it back home, cook it, eat it, whatever. I appreciate that. I was looking for a reality check from football where they might think, hold on a second, maybe we've been doing things a little bit wrong. Maybe we want to be a kinder, more generous type of football in a way that I hope the society will be a more kinder, generous type of society. Then the headline popped up. This thing, where is it? There you go, pop it there. Neymar. Basically, Paris Saint-Germain want to pay Neymar, I think it's something like 600 grand a week. A week? Make him the highest paid player in the world, I believe, to try and stop him from going back to Barcelona. And I just look at it, I think, no. This is not how I want it to go. I think football's come out of this badly. I think I even entitled a video Greed the other day. It's greed, it's gluttonous in the way that they basically hoover up everybody's money. I'm looking to come out of this with lower transfer fees, with cheaper tickets for you and me, just for everybody just to enjoy going to football. It's not the end of the world if you don't make the playoffs or you don't qualify for Europe or you get relegated or any of these things. The important thing is you've got a football club to go back to. I thought that's the thing. I thought we're all worried that there won't be any football, that the clubs might go out of business. Not that you can't afford a striker for 50 million. It's not really that important. It's going to football, supporting your team, having a sing-song, seeing your mates, coming home and enjoying the build-up and all that stuff during the week. Who's going to be in the team, who's not going to be in the team. That's football, right? But I look at it, I think, no. We don't want any of this. And that's not an isolated incident, by the way. I like to think that football's learned, that the authorities have learned. I look at the Newcastle takeover. I've taken a lot of stick over the Newcastle takeover. I just don't think that you can do kick it out, Rainbow Laces Day, that you can try and make football all-inclusive and then sanction those particular owners as right and proper owners because they are totally against those things. So it's time for the Premier League to stand up. It would take Bottle to do it and say, no, actually, you don't fit the test. But I just look at it, I just think, I just like it to be a little bit more decent. And then I look at all this money that's awash in the game, and it still doesn't seem to have sunk in. And it's a story. And the story goes that I think it's the Nottingham Forest have got a player who's turned around and he's said that if the season is not finished, he's going to go on strike. He's basically, his reason for doing so is they're close enough to the playoffs. They get into the playoffs is really important. And if he doesn't do it, he's going to go on strike. I just think, well, if that season doesn't get played out, it's nobody's fault. I get it. I understand you're disappointed to miss out on promotion. But in the bigger scheme of things, it just ain't that important. It's really not. And to then go on strike for not playing football, for not doing that, I think it's what you're going to strike for. You haven't been playing anyway. The other one is that it sort of ties into the same story, which is there's a lot of players who are threatening to go on strike if they're forced to play football, which of course is the flip side of the coin. And I have a lot of sympathy for that one in particular, for reasons that I've already stated on here. The players don't want to go out. They don't want to put themselves in a position whereby they might take something back to their family. They might get infected, take something back, take an illness back to their family. I totally get it. They want to stay at home. Some people just need guidance. The government, the NHS, they're giving out guidance. Stay at home, all that sort of thing. So for these players to be reading, stay at home, don't go out. But then for the Premier League to be saying, oh no, go out. It's all right, you know. There's a conflict of message there, basically. And I can totally understand why the players don't want to do that. But I think, why is the Premier League doing it? Well, because they're so desperate to get the season wrapped up. And it is for money. Make no mistake about it, it's a money decision. It's not done for health, because if it was done for health, they'd be listening to the NHS guidelines, they'd be listening to the government guidelines, who are very much saying don't do it. But so it's for money. It's so as they can get the last payments from BT, from Sky, and so on and so forth. So they're willing for money to put their players into what could be a risky position. Now, don't get me wrong. They're going to try and mitigate that by having people in quarantine. I've just noticed the Wuhan team have started to go back to Wuhan now. They've got a football team in Wuhan. They've been in quarantine for 14 days before they go back. Now, what it would appear to me, if we wanted to do that, and it did get sanctioned, which I don't think it will, what they'd have to do is they'd have to put the players into quarantine for 14 days. Not only the players, we've discussed all this before, everybody, right? TV, blah, 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 the lot of it. Then what has to happen is those players have to then go into training camp. And David Moyes, by his own admission, says it's going to take a month. He'd like to take a month to do this. So 14 days, then a month. And then, even after that, to play out the games. What, another month? Something like that? You know, you are looking at something like 10 weeks. 10 weeks of basically quarantined training and quarantined football matches. Now, I understand. Do you know what? Cricketers have been doing tours that last for about that sort of length of time for a long time. Fly across the world, do something like that. But the point of the matter is you're not going to get people don't want to do that. People are scared at the moment. Players are going to be scared. We use the Aaron Cresswell example again. They don't want to do it. It's just a money decision. They don't want to. At the time when they feel their families are vulnerable, there are the times when they feel people could get sick at any time. They don't want to leave their families for 10 weeks. It's the wrong decision. The right decision is really, really easy. And the right decision is you can't play any football until it's deemed safe to do so. And I know they're desperate to get it done. But I look at it, and I look at what we've seen today, and I just wonder, you look at the Neymar thing, you look at the transfers, you look at the money, and then you look at the fact that they're so desperate to play football. It's just still a greedy game. It's still completely fixated from money. Football has learnt nothing from this. It's not learnt a common decency. There are examples. I'm talking about, there are lesser examples. Yesterday we spoke about Watford, we spoke about Chelsea. There are examples of individual players and individual clubs doing the right thing. But I'm talking about as a whole. Because quite frankly, it's like David against Goliath, but this time David doesn't win. What good is it, Watford, giving up their stadium so as NHS key workers can sleep there, so as they don't pass on stuff to their families, making thousands of meals every day, and actually showing that they are a community club and showing that they've got the public and everybody's health interests at heart, excuse me, and before football? What's the point in them doing that? If on the flip side of the coin, Paris Saint-Germain are going to basically pay someone over £500,000 a week.